Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mr. B's podcast. I'm Mr. B, and today I want to talk about a few things that are in the headlines, right? So, that are in the news, right? So, we're going to branch off a little bit from our regular topics relating to security guard industry. Now we're gonna start moving and gearing towards other topics to discuss, right? As it relates to national security, right? Cyber security, politics, entrepreneurship, life in general, right? So we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different things, right? And if you stay tuned, if you subscribe, you'll be able to see and hear what Mr. B's got to say, right? So, something's going on out there, guys and girls. Something is going on. And to be quite honest, it's been going on for decades, right? But it just happens to be that now it's being highly publicized. And that issue is cybersecurity, digital security, things along those lines, right? So as technology advances, right, the scammers, the hackers, the foreign agents, the foreign governments, right? They advance, they move up with technology, they find new ways to do things that they know they're not supposed to do, right? But let's not act like the United States is innocent itself, right? We're only hearing about what foreign actors do or our own people do in the United States, right? We never hear about what the United States does to other countries, right? So it's safe to assume if other countries are doing it to us, we are also doing it to them. I can't say too much, but just know that we, for damn sure, are doing it to the same to them. It's just not publicized, right? That's a matter of national security. You're never going to know, right? So, I mean, you can pay attention to podcasts, international TV from other hostile nations, right? You can hop on the dark web and monitor chat logs from people in foreign countries who we consider hostile. Not necessarily our enemies, but they're considered hostile, right? If you want the news, that's the best thing to do, right? I'm not saying that the media in the United States is corrupt, not trustworthy. I'm not saying they're a bunch of dirty scoundrels, but hey, look, I mean, this is the hand that we're being dealt here in the United States, right? And other people would like to say that that the media is a fake news, right? So, but at any rate, right? So maybe they are. You know, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide what you think about them. But let's not get off on a tangent, right? Let's not do the weave, okay? So at any rate, I want to pull up some articles here that were basically like FBI bulletins, FBI postings, blah, 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 articles from the FBI, right? And I hate to say their names so much on the internet. So at any rate, let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see. Just bear with me. Like I said, I don't have a production staff. I do everything on my own. So let's see. There we have it. FBI warns smartphone users. Hang up and create a secret word now, gosh darn it. Right? FBI warns smartphone users. Hang up and create a secret word now, right? So, hell, I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to paraphrase and tell you what's going on, right? Mr. B is in the know here, okay? Just know that. That's all you need to know. So, right, so we said that technology has been around. Let me bring my beautiful face back up on the screen so you can see me as I'm talking. So, we know that technology has been around for a very long time, right? Technology has only advanced, right? Hackers, scammers, foreign actors, they just advance, they roll along with technology. You heard it from me. If you haven't heard this from anyone else before, any other cybersecurity expert, any other security expert in general, any other individual who may be working or have worked for some government agency, Cyber Command, the NSA, blah, 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 blah. Look at you guys, got me using all these keywords here. Now I am under investigation for treason. So at any rate, so they'll tell you that nothing that is sent wirelessly, and listen to me guys, it's very important. Nothing that is sent wirelessly is truly secure. Right? Nothing that is sent wirelessly is truly secure. Right? So let's break it down. Right? I can spend an entire day talking about cyber stuff, and I can, right? So let's think about it, right? So if you're looking at me right now, right, on the computer screen, right? What do you see? I mean, you see a handsome, I was going to say young man, but I mean, I'm starting to get up there in age and I'm starting to feel it. But at any rate, you see a handsome individual, right? And am I really in front of you? Like, am I physically in front of you? No, I'm not there with you. I'm not wherever you're watching me from. No, I'm not. What am I? Yes, let's answer the question. What am I? Think about it. So, I am a collection of pixels. I am a collection of metadata, right? Let's say it again. I am a collection of pixels. I am a collection of metadata, right? I am the byproduct, or I am the product of coding, scripting, things along those lines. I'm not physically there with you in person, right? So all of that information, metadata, pixels, coding, blah, 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 all are in harmony in it as one together. Once all that information comes together, it creates audio, it creates images, it creates videos, right? So technically, if you think about it, I'm non-existent to you right now in front of you, right? All I am are just a bunch of codes, pixels, scripts, blah, 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 to make it appear that I'm in front of you, right? So if for some reason somebody was able to get into the coding, or however you want to say it, anything, the script, the coding, anything that has to do with producing this video, right? And they threw off a digit, or they changed a dependency to make it spit out a different value or result. Maybe you wouldn't see my face right now, right? Maybe you wouldn't hear my beautiful voice, right? So you might not see or hear any of that, because now, okay, a system is saying, all right, we need this dependency to show or spit out this value, right? Now there's some type of infiltration, corruption that's affecting the total output of, what you're seeing here, right? So nothing is ever secure, right? Anything that's sent wirelessly is non-existent. And I need you to understand that. Anything that is sent wirelessly is non-existent, and it is susceptible to hacking, interference, and unauthorized interception. Let me say that again for you guys much slower. Anything that is sent electronically, right? Anything that is sent electronically is not secure. And it is susceptible to unauthorized interception, interference, right? So you need to think about your personal information, your digital information, all the devices that you have, phones, computers, cameras, smartwatches, home security systems, car security systems, car radios, car alarms, anything that has to do with wireless, VoIP, VoIP phones, blah, 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 blah. None of that is secure, right? And you know what irks me so much deep down inside to my bones? And I'm not knocking the next people that I'm about to talk about, right? Right? And I'm not going to mention the products by name. Let's be general about it, right? Antivirus program, anti-spy program, right? They will sell you a false sense of security, right? And you heard it here from me. And if you speak to anybody else who's a cybersecurity expert, anyone who worked in the government, if they were a regular government employee, or even if they were a contractor with some type of security clearance, right? Whether it be facility security clearance or, a top secret security clearance, something like that, right? You speak to them, and don't take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. Ask them what they think about antivirus program, anti-spy programs, ransomware programs, blah, 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 blah. They're going to tell you it's a bunch of bullshit, right? Bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. So, and they sell this stuff to people. People think, oh my goodness, now I'm protected because I got such and such program. But in all reality, they're not protected whatsoever, right? So let me get into those programs, right? So if we have an antivirus program, anti-spyware program, right? Things along those lines. We download it from their website. We upload it to our computer. On its first start, right? Its first time start, it'll do a scan of your system to establish a baseline, to find out if you have any corrupted processes, corrupted files, any viruses, anything like that on your computer. It's also going to look for to see if there's any processes that are having outside communication with different types of servers through different ports of your computer, to make sure that there's no Trojan horse or backdoor virus on your system. That's what an antivirus program is going to do on its first download and initial start of the program, right? So then thereafter, okay, you set up the program to do like real-time monitoring of your system, right? Real-time monitoring meaning that, look, hey, maybe it might periodically scan your stuff, maybe check the memory, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you're online, right? And you're looking at stuff that is known to be just call it a bad website, right? It'll alert you, hey, look, don't you go on that website. Don't you do this. Don't you do that, right? So it's your responsibility to be like, hey, look, okay, I won't. But it also, right, if you download an executable file, right, exe file, right, you all should know what that is. That is basically a program, right? It's a combination of codes that are telling the system to do this, do that, do that, do that, to give you what you think you're getting, right? So if I want to download, I don't want to say anything by name, and sometimes it gets difficult, right? I'm not trying to land in court. So if I want to download a music program, I got to go to their website. I got to click, okay, I agree to terms of service, blah, blah, blah. I download it, right? It goes onto the computer. The computer recognizes it as an executable file. It starts running the installation. It starts putting stuff on your computer, blah, 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 blah. And here's the kicker, right? If you download, and this is one type of way people get hacked and virus on the computer and stuff, right? If you download a program that's corrupted and that's already been compromised with a virus, and you download it to your computer, and your spyware of antivirus isn't updated, right? It's not the latest definitions. It's not the latest version of their program, right? There's a chance that program may have malicious code on it, and you just download it to your computer, and your program's not even going to recognize it as a virus. At that point, it's too late. It's already in your system, right? When the virus gets in, it does exactly what a virus would do in the human body. It replicates, right? So you just downloaded the virus to your system. The virus gets in and say, hey, look, now let's start replicating, right? So what it does in the background, and you might not even know this, right? Or it could even be a scheduled process that was coded into the virus, right? So the virus starts replicating itself, hiding itself in certain files. It may replicate itself as some type of normal system process, like or service, like for your printer. You need printer spooler. You need that service going, right? So it may copy the same name or whatever function as the spooler for your printer, but in all reality, it's not, because it knows that, hey, look, once the virus software catches up to its definition, we're going to be doing some shady stuff in your system. So we want to trick your computer, whether it be if you got a Windows or whatever, Windows Defender, blah, 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 or, I shouldn't have said a name, but I'm not going to say anything bad about that. But at any rate, so whether it's, now Windows Defender, right, is like the primary software that comes with the computer. If you have a Windows computer, it's automatically on there. I mean, it does good, but, yeah. So at any rate, so now the virus will try to trick your system into thinking that it's not a corrupt or rogue process. So it, replicates, and then it tries to copy the name of other processes and files, so that when the antivirus spyware does kick in to that program, it only looks like a normal process or service or function running, right? That's what viruses do. They get in, they replicate. Now, you need to figure out what was the intent of the hacker at that point, right? Was it, okay, there are black hat hackers, there are white hat hackers, right? Black being, okay, they want to get in to do some terrible stuff to you, whether it's rip your identity, make your life living hell, right? Some things they'll do, they might not want to take your identity, but they might go, hey, look, we want to harass the crap out of Mr. B. So while Mr. B's on his podcast, we're going to keep shutting off the driver for his camera, or we're going to keep playing cat noises on his system, and we're going to replace his audio with all cat noises, right? They and have a good time, right? Meanwhile, white hats are usually pen testers for big organizations, or it could just be an enthusiast, an enthusiast who is almost, him or her knows the same ways that black hat hackers get in. But, hey, maybe they just want to do the same thing, but they want to bring awareness to you that, hey, look, we got into your system. You need to be more careful what you do, right? So sometimes they'll get in. They'll put a note on your system. Hey, look, I'm a hacker. I got in your system. Do you see how easy it was? I didn't take anything from you. I didn't copy your information, but I just wanted to let you know that I got into your system that easily, right? That's the type of stuff that a white hat might do, or they may just be working for a corporation. But then obviously you have a pen tester who may be a former black or white hat, and now they're working for corporations, dealing with firewalls and executable files and closing open ports and testing internet speeds, testing the security of the lines, and I can go on and on and on. But at any rate, let us circle back to what I had said. What was going on with the FBI. So the FBI is telling people to, change their passwords and do this and do that, and be careful of, AI generated nonsense that's going out that tricks people. That is called a social engineering attack. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Social engineering attack, right? So let me tell you what a social engineering attack is, right? So just saying that Mr. B was a hacker, right? Just saying that Mr. B was a hacker. He used to be a hacker, you never know. But at any rate, and he wanted to get as much information from people and, I don't know, get into their bank accounts and all this other crazy stuff, and look at their nude pictures and hold it as ransom and blackmail them, right? If I wanted to do that, maybe I would create some type of like viral campaign, right? I would make AI-generated baloney on social media so that it becomes viral and people start downloading my app, right? Little do they know there's malicious code in that app, whether it's an Android. It's kind of difficult, though, with Apple, but you'll see most of the hacking will occur with Android. Unfortunately, I'm not knocking Android. I'm not saying anything bad, but hey, look, you guys got to realize there are cybersecurity threats out there, right? So I make this malicious app, and whether it's in the Google Play Store or not, but Google Play is very good about catching malicious type of things, right? It's $1 billion corporation, but just saying for some reason it slipped through, right? And there's malicious code in this APK, right? This Android format app. And I get it. You see people, you see your friends posting, oh my God, there's this cool app that's going on. Oh my God, I want that app. I want Mr. B's app. I said app, by the way, app. And you download it. I don't know. It's some, I don't know, picture editing app, right? Or it's some Blackjack 21 app, and you download it to have a good time. And it's working for you amazingly, right? You get to edit your photos. You get to play Blackjack 21, do all this stuff. But little do you know in the background, if you looked at the permissions instead of just clicking this or that or whatever, or if you even went into an Android emulator app or Android, viewer app to look at what's in that APK, you would see that there's a lot of bloat as well as suspicious processes, suspicious files in that APK, right? So I got you to download the app, but now you don't know as your phone is sleeping or you're not paying attention to your phone, I've got your phone unlocked, right? I have remote control over your phone. And don't sit up here and think that I'm BSing you just because it's a cell phone. It cannot be remotely controlled. Where have you guys been for the last 20 years, okay? That technology has been around for freaking years. Remote control of Android devices, even smartwatches. Like, guys, please, So next thing you know, I got remote control of your device, right? I'm monitoring your camera, front, rear camera. I'm monitoring audio that's coming through your microphone. I'm monitoring what you do, right? I'm going through your pictures, your private pictures, right? Because I'm going to blackmail you, right? So I got a billion zillionaire to download my app, my malicious app. And now I'm like, oh, man. I get into this person's pictures and I see all this crazy stuff. I see, they're naked. And I'm like, hey, look, I got his phone number. I got an email. Let me get a burner email through a proxy server or VPN, right? Or virtual machine, right? And I'm going to send him a message saying, hey, look, I saw your Listen, I seen your genitals, right? And if you don't want the world to see what your genitals look like, you've got to give me $100,000, right? And you have to send it to me via gift card or Zelle or Apple Pay or whatever, Cash App, right? So now the guy goes, or girl, whatever, I don't want the world to see that. What should I do? Should I just send this? I'm a billion zillionaire. Should I just send this person his money? And then I have his word that he's not going to show the world my genitalia, right? Some people do that. Some people do that. And they think just because they send somebody money that there's going to be no copies, right? You should never negotiate with terrorists, right? Individuals like that, because you can never be too sure if there's a second copy or something like that, or they might sell it on the black market, right? I got your $100,000 because you don't want people to see your genitals. Okay, I made you believe it was over. It wasn't over, right? I went right onto the dark web and I sold it in an auction to the next highest bidder, right? So I got money from you. You paid me like a fool, and now I'm going to get money from the next person who wants it, right? So that's what they're saying right now, right? With the apps and things like that, right? There are apps with malicious processes, with backdoor, Trojan horses, things like that, where people can get into your phone and control your phone remotely, get into your banking, get into this, get into that, get into your email, get into your text, right? So, but, it's unfortunate. But like I said earlier, anything that's sent anything that's sent wirelessly is never secure, right? It is susceptible to unauthorized interception and interference, right? What I described to you right there was a social engineering attack, right? I used, let's say I used social media. I used a social I used a social method to get you to download my program, which was malicious in nature, and now I got you. I can blackmail you, right? So it's very careful to understand like the apps that you download and things like that, right? They want you to change your emails, change your phone numbers and passwords, use different emails for different apps, different passwords. We're not going to go off on tangent and all that in password creations, but they should be long with multiple, letters, numbers, symbols, things along those lines. Not your name, not your cat's name, not your dog's name, blah, 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 blah. Also, like when you set up your birthday on websites, change the actual month and day, but remember it because at a later date you may have to confirm your identity through two-step verification or whatever. But at the at the end of the day, what you need to do is you need to minimize your your breadcrumb trail on the internet, right? So I would say change your date of birth to something that's not true, right? Change it up, but also write down, store it somewhere what you wrote down in case you ever do have to verify from time to time. Websites and all that other stuff will ask you to verify, but maybe keep your the year you were born the same, so because like if you try to access a vaping website or dispensary website, right, all it pulls is really your actual age, right? It pulls your actual age. So if you put down 1960, right, and you really have to be 18 to get into that website. Obviously, you're 18. They're gonna let you through the website. If you're not, it's gonna kick it back. So just change your information like that. Have various email addresses. Let's not go off on a terrible tangent like that. But that is one way. The FBI is saying here that people are getting hacked recently, right? Communications are being intercepted and they're being manipulated. People are being blackmailed, right? So there's another article that had come out. I'm going to show you that next. Actually, you know what? Let me show you that now because it ties directly into yada, 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 right? FBI warns iPhone and Android users stop sending text, right? Stop sending text. They're saying that texts are being intercepted by foreign actors, maybe foreign governments, things along those lines, maybe just regular hackers who want to see what you're up to, what you're talking about, right? So I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to tell you what's going on, right? So the FBI is saying stop sending text. Why the hell would the FBI say stop sending text? So let's get into it, right? As we recap and think about what we had said earlier, I said anything that you send wirelessly is not secure. I'll say it again. Anything that you send wirelessly, electronically, is never secure. And if anyone tells you, if any service tries to tell you it's secure, they're a damn lie, right? So when you send a text message, right, do you think it goes from you directly to the person that you're texting? No. The answer is no, no, no. It doesn't. It goes through various different towers. It goes through various different processes before it arrives to whoever you're sending it to, right? So now, if there is some type of interception in between your phone, a cell phone tower to who you're sending the message to, right? It leaves you open, it leaves you open to being vulnerable that somebody may have intercepted your transmission, right? And it's a very simple process to intercept somebody's web traffic, a very simple process to intercept somebody's text messages, right? I can sit at a mall with a device. I'm not going to tell you what devices or how to set up this or that, but I can sit you can look it up yourself, but I can sit at a mall, right? And I can create a an access point, right? A Wi-Fi router. I can put down the name of the mall so it looks like it's legitimate, right? And I could put down no passwords, let's call it, to get in, and it's just an open network, right? Meanwhile, I'm sitting there, you're connecting to my device now. I'm looking at all your traffic. I'm getting all your data. I'm getting what you're looking at, what you're sending, your credit card information. Now, how is that possible, right? It's called a man in the middle attack. I'm the man in the middle getting your information, right? It's going through my fake access point, my fake Wi-Fi router before it lets you get to the actual internet, right? So it'll look like you're connected to the internet, you're sending information, you're getting information, whatever. You're getting what you need. It looks that way. But in all reality, it's going through my fake network, my fake router first. And I'm watching what you're doing. I'm saving what you're doing, and you don't even know, right? You don't know. And it's unfortunate. It happens a lot. People see free Wi-Fi and they hop right on the damn network. Meanwhile, they don't know that there's a hacker on the other side extracting information from them. And it's sad because it happens all the time. There are there are devices that are supposed to be used for pen testing for professionals. Unfortunately, hackers have those devices and they misuse them, right? So you can go on such and such website and get you one of these devices. I'm not going to tell you, nor am I going to mention it by name. And you can do some real damage with it, right? Because most of this stuff, right? So I'm not going to say most of this stuff is easy to use, but if you use it enough, you can learn how to abuse it, right? So like I said, be careful with connecting to those free open Wi-Fi networks and things like that, right? Because if I don't pass, right, if I set up this man in the middle attack, right, and I can set it up so, okay, you connected to it, but it sends you to a fake page that's also my page, right? That's a phishing page, right? I could send you to that page it could look like, oh, before you can use this network, you need to connect with your Facebook and verify your Facebook. Or, oh, hey, look, before I let you on the internet, you need to sign in with your bank of blah, 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 right? And as soon as you go, oh, well, that's weird, but I want that free Wi-Fi. So, but as soon as you enter in your Facebook credentials, your email, username, whatever, password, right? You click send. You're like, what the hell? Nothing happened. It keeps saying that my password and isn't correct. Or it just gives you a blank page, right? If that happens to you in a public place like that, immediately, get on your phone, your regular network, and change all of your crap that you entered into that system in public. And I'm telling you that because once the hacker gets a notification or sees through, I don't want to mention the program. I almost just did because I don't want to give anyone any ideas. I don't want to be helpful with any criminal activity. But as soon as they see the information pop up on this program and this and that, they're going to go in, they're going to save it, they're going to catalog it, and they're going to keep moving on to the next victim, right? So you need to quickly get into those programs, change your information quickly. This way they can't, get into it. But Facebook is pretty good, right? If you have two-step verification or an authentication app set up, or it'll notify you, hey, look, somebody just, right? So you're sitting over there in, just say you're in, Newburgh, right? You're at the Newburgh Mall. And this is just an example, guys, right? Just saying you're sitting at a mall in Newburgh and you had this process happen to you. And you get a notification from Facebook that says, hey, look, was this you trying to log in from South America? Right? You can be like, what the hell? I'm not in no South America. That means somebody's got your credentials. They are attempting to log in, or they had logged into your account. But Facebook is saying, look, in order for us to let that other device in, that other IP address in, that other MAC address in, we need you to click that it was you on your app, a known app that we know that you consistently use to access Facebook, right? So if you click, no, it wasn't me, they're not going to let that person in, even though they have your username and password. They're not going to let them in, right? Because they need verification from a known device. But if you click, yes, that was me, thinking that, You just try to access this free network and log in with your credentials from Facebook. If you click in, yes, it was me, boom, you just let the hacker in, right? You just open the door, you let them in. And now you're going to pretty much be screwed. But I will say Facebook is pretty good with, like, if you let them in, right, okay, they'll be able to see your messages. If you haven't set up PIN on your messages, go into your Facebook, make sure you set up a message history PIN. But if you don't, let's just say, because a lot of people don't, because they don't know that this feature exists now, right? You could put a PIN on your Facebook chat history so that if somebody wants to access your history and chat, maybe you got some inappropriate sexual things going on there, right? I mean, maybe you do. We all have, right? Maybe we all still do. But at any rate, you got a pin on there. They can't get onto it, right? So they can get in. They can change some settings. They can do this and that. But now when they go to try to change your email address so they can have full control over your account, right? When they go to change your text message, right, they have to have full control over the account. They're not going to be able to do it. Why? Because Facebook is good about this. Facebook got smart with their security. They're saying if anything ever changes, we need to verify with an account that we need to verify with a device that we know has a history of using our services, right? So just saying a hacker, they got in, they went in to change your email address. Facebook will go, hey, look, was this you again trying to change? Enter your password again, but also click this link from this known verification method, right? But here's where you might be screwed, right? So if you went and typed in your Facebook credentials, and then it said this malicious website that I led you to on this fake access point Wi-Fi router, it led you to another page that say, hey, look, enter your email, right? Your Facebook didn't work, but I want you to try your email address. And you put your email in. Then you got another message that said, oh, my goodness, we need a third verification. We need your bank account. Put in your bank account information to access mobile banking, right? So now what did you just do? You gave them your Facebook information, you gave them your email information, and you gave them your banking information, right? So if I'm hell-bent on using and exploiting this information that you just provided me through my fake access point, right, man-in-the-middle attack, I'm going to immediately go to the email service that you use. Let's just call it Gmail, right? Gmail is also good with security recently as well, too. But let's just say it's Gmail, right? I'm going to log into your Gmail. Hopefully it doesn't ask me for two-step verification. Hopefully it doesn't ask me for device authentication app, right? Maybe it just lets me right in, right? And I get in. And then I go to change your information. It lets me change your information, let's just say. And now I have control and access to your Facebook, your email account. And then I'm going to go, hold on, wait a second. I want that money. That's my goal. It's not my goal just to see your right? I don't want to see that stuff. So I want your money. So at any rate, now I'm going to go into the banking website, right? And I'm going to put your details in, and it's going to say, okay, we need you to verify. We need to verify that it's you trying to access your bank account, right? So we're going to send you an email, and we want that 4, 5, 6-digit, 8-digit code that we just sent your email. So now if we take a step back and we think about it, the hacker has access to your email, right? You see where I'm going with this, guys? Right? So now the hacker will get into your email. They go, oh my God, the code is 1234 for the verification. Let me get back on that mobile app, that mobile banking app, or that mobile banking website, and let me put that code in 12345. Boop! I am inside of your bank information. I'm in, right? So now what I can do, I can schedule a transfer. I can, send money immediately to my burner account. I can send money immediately to some type of, through Zelle, or do this, and I can just extract all your money from you, right? But banks have gotten good about this recently too. But some of them are behind on pulling the trigger on cybersecurity with their stuff, right? So now if you want to make a transfer with Zelle or any other big bank, it'll say you need to confirm that this is your identification, right? And this and that. They might send you another email. But keep in mind the hacker has access to that email already. But they might go, okay, we want you to verify this, and your date of birth and your dog's name and this and that and that. Now, if you entered any of that information into a phishing page that I might have set up through the fake access point, right? I have all that information now, so I could put that in the bank information, and it'll give me full control of your account, right? I'm not BSing you guys, right? So if you don't believe me, check with somebody who parades himself around as and touts himself around either respectfully or not respectfully as a cybersecurity professional. They'll tell you exactly what I'm saying is correct. How do I know it's correct? That's none of your business, right? So at any rate, so now they've got access to everything, your money, your inappropriate pictures. You know, they know where you live. They know this. They know your dog's name. They can use all that little bits of information to figure out, okay, these are your passwords. These are your multi-step verification words, anything like that. They know everything about you now. So let's not get off on a tangent because I'm looking at the time, right? So you have to be careful with connecting to public networks and stuff. But there's another thing I wanted to branch off and talk about, right? So is it possible that somebody can intercept your text, right? The answer is yes. I told you guys this already. And for Pete's sake, the police do it, right? The FBI does it. The CIA does it. Every other shadowy government organization has the ability to do this, right? Think about this. If the local police or the state police where you live can do it, so can the feds, let's call them. So can a rogue actor, right? So let's think about cell phones, right? So you have a cell phone, right? And do you think that cell phone's always connected to one tower? No, it's not, right? A cell phone is, right. So if you left the cell phone fully charged sitting at your desk for a week, why, or a couple hours, days, whatever, why is the battery draining so quickly? Think about it. It's because a cell phone is constantly pinging the nearest tower to you to see which one provides you the best, signal that's kicked back to you. And it's going to stay connected to that tower because it feels that tower has the best connection to the internet service provider or network, right? So cell phones are constantly pinging for better service. Now, with that in mind, let's think about it. Okay, a cell phone's constantly pinging. It's meaning it's running a processor service on its own to give me the best service that I need. Yes, that's true. So now, if I go out and buy a such and such device, I'm not going to tell you ever the specifics as to what they are. I'm not going to tell you. So if I go out and buy this device and I code it and I set it up the way I need it to set up and I mock a cell phone tower, right? I can just sit in your neighborhood and I can act as a cell phone tower. All your information is going to go through my cell. Like I told you about the man-in-the-middle attack earlier with the fake router access point. I could do the same thing for cell phone traffic. I can sit at the mall. I can sit in the neighborhood, and I can just look at and receive information that's going through my fake cell phone tower, see what you're doing, what you're looking at, what you're sending. I can see your texts. I can listen to your phone calls. It's true. I can listen to your phone calls before passing it off to the actual network, right? It's the same exact thing I talked about earlier. Same thing. It's a man-in-the-middle attack, right? So the police use these devices, and sorry, guys, to let the public know, but I think at this point everybody knows, right? So if we think about a device, I'm just thinking if I should say the name or not. There's a device the police can use, right? If there is some type of major case or some other type of thing, right? They'll get a warrant to do. I'll get a warrant to monitor Mr. B, right? But in monitoring Mr. B, I'm also monitoring other people's traffic around me. It's really pretty much it could be construed as some type of privacy violation, but the police really they're only sorting through the information. They're looking to see what Mr. B is looking at, what he's talking about, what he's looking at, what text he's sending here and there and stuff like that, right? That's what this device can do for the police, right? And it's only as big as a suitcase, guys. It is only as big as a suitcase. And they're getting all this information on you, but it's because you're a criminal. They suspect you of committing a crime or crimes, and they got a warrant to see what you're up to, right? But the same way the police do it, the feds do it, malicious actors can do it as well, right? They can get a device, they can sit it in your neighborhood, and they can monitor everything you do. Guys, I'm not BSing here. Right? So there's other ways and other methods that it could be done, right? Depending on their endpoint security at your internet service provider or your cellular provider, right? But if along that way, if anything is compromised, that means your transmissions, your data, anything you send electronically is never secure. It is now compromised, right? So if for some reason a foreign actor was able to breach say some type of endpoint security over at the servers, over at blah, 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 blah. Everything that flows through those servers, those cell phone towers are now compromised. So that is what the FBI is saying, right? They're not going to sit here and take almost an hour to explain. They're just going to tell you the basics. Hey, look, guys, stop sending texts, right? Get yourself an encrypted app to talk on as we investigate what's going on, right? So, again, nothing is ever secure, right? So if we think, let me take a step back again and talk about virus and, other software like that, right? That stuff is only feel-good measure stuff, right? Viruses are always being created. The systems cannot always keep up with a known virus or a suspicious process or service that is running, right? So if you look at your virus software, open it up. Next time you go into it on your computer and see when it says the last time the definitions were updated, right? So what it means is it's updating known viruses, right? Known malicious processes, known malicious services, known malicious executable files, right? But a virus, let me put y'all on game for a second, right? A virus is not just inside of an exe executable file. A virus can come in obviously a website, right? I can send you to a website, which is really some type of hosted IP address, where as soon as you open my website, it downloads an exe or something onto your system. And you just click, what the hell is this? Okay, and the next thing you know, I'm in your system. Boom, right? So I'm using an IP address to push malicious code into your system somehow, whether it be on your phone. Viruses could work on phones. Viruses can work on computers, right? So you went to the website, now you're screwed. Now it's downloading something directly onto your system. Or a virus can be sent in an audio file. And we know this to be true because I don't know if there's any young people watching, but a long time ago there was a program, and I'm not going to say the name. I think we all know. It's similar to a fruit. And at any rate, back then, we know it to be true that viruses were hidden in audio files because what happened? We got a lot of viruses way back when, right? Viruses could be hidden in pictures. It's true, guys. Viruses can be hidden in pictures. Malicious code could be hidden in pictures. You don't believe me? Check with somebody else. But I'm not here to BS you. It's the truth, right? And you need to be smart about it, right? So a while ago, maybe your phone automatically downloaded pictures, right? Check your phone settings right now. At the end of this podcast, let me know if it says automatically download media over text, right? But a long time ago, you used to have no option. It used to automatically download media over text, right? And hackers knew this. So they might get your number off some lead list off the dark web, right? Or maybe they went to a data broker and purchased your information, right? So then I put the virus together. I put it inside of the file, the actual file that I'm going to send you of a picture or audio file or even a PDF. PDF files could contain viruses, right? I send it to you. Your phone automatically downloads it. Boom. Next thing you know, I'm installing a malicious process in the background. It's true. It happens, right? Pictures audio files, regular applications, APK, Android apps, executables, exe, all that stuff could contain malicious code, malicious viruses, right? So it's important for you to understand that once it's downloaded, it's there. It's difficult to get rid of if you don't know how to get rid of it. You may think that, you may accidentally download one of these programs and your virus program may not even catch it in time, may not catch it at all, right? I can write, let's just think of a simple .bat file, right? I can write a malicious code in that simple file, and I can send it to you disguised as something else, and you downloaded it, and now it's running a malicious process on your system, or it's directing you to a certain website to go to an IP address, and next thing you know, it's downloading more virus stuff onto your system. So now I have greater control of your system, right? So that's how it happens, guys, right? So I can do all that stuff, and I can do it now on this system, right? I can make a malicious code it, put it in the system, click it, download it, and it could play Looney Tune music, or it could shut my system off, right? But the antivirus program didn't move that quick to realize, hey, look, this was a malicious code in here, right? So now you're screwed, right? So antivirus programs are just feel-good measures. They don't always work. They are not 100%. They are there to be like a sleepy security guard. That's how you need to look at your virus programs, as a sleepy security guard, right? Because half of the time they catch stuff, the other half they don't. Now, I wanted to show you guys something, but I might have deleted it, right? I don't want you just to take my word for it, right? And let me see if I can, is there a way I can bring that up so you can see? Oh, yes, here it is. Wait a second. Let me see something. Just bear with me one moment. So I'm trying to pull up this. Well, it's showing it, but for some reason it's not showing. Let me see. At any rate, I'll just tell you about it because I don't want to waste too much time, guys. So if you go into the terms of service, terms of use, liability, legal section, definition section of your antivirus program provider website, or sometimes it's included directly inside of the antivirus program, there'll be terms of service, terms of use. And all of them will say, as is, right? I copied a bunch of them, and I'm looking at them now off screen on the other screen. Everything is offered as is, right? They're saying that they understand, that they know that they can't capture and prevent or expel viruses all the time. And you need to understand that. And you need to understand, if the viruses take your information, destroy your system, we're not responsible. I'm not BSing you guys, right? Go to the terms and service, terms of use of any of those antivirus programs. Not even that, right? Cell phone providers, right? They all have it. They understand that they cannot protect you 100%, right? And there's always that 1%, and during that 1%, it's always something terrible that happens, right? So I'm not BSing you guys on that. Look it up for yourself. Get the information yourself, right? So again, right? And another thing I want to tell you about, right? A long time ago, autoplay on Windows systems used to be automatic, right? I can pop a USB with a malicious code into your system, right? That's set up to be executed automatically, because I know that back way when Windows had autoplay, right? As soon as I pop something into the system, it would immediately execute what I wanted done, right? Now they require it to be an option, right? If I pop a USB in a system today, it's going to say, hey, look, we're recognizing there's a USB. What do you want us to do, right? And you could, if it has pictures on it, you could say open the picture gallery, blah, 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 but now you have to select it. Meanwhile, way back when, it was automatic, right? If there was something that was in there set up, if on my malicious USB drive I had coded it so that it was when it's time to do autoplay, it automatically launches the the commands once the USB was inserted. Now it's hard to do that. You can't really do that anymore unless a device is coded as a human HID device, right? So keyboard, mouse, right? I could trick your system into thinking I'm a mouse. Computer. I'm not talking about a mouse on the ground. I'm talking about a computer mouse. I can trick your system into thinking that it's a keyboard, right? So we're almost on an hour here, so I don't want to take up too much time. Maybe at a later date we'll dig into deeper detail about cybersecurity, but you really need to be careful with what you do online, right? Anything that you send wirelessly is never secure, right? So I want to thank everybody for jumping on with me today, right? I hope you learned a lot. There's a lot of information I threw at you, and check it out, though, right? If you don't believe me, check it out. Check with somebody else. I'm not here to BS you. So until then, thank you for coming on, and I'll see you next time.